today we're dyeing eggs, and I just got done with work, so I don't even know what techniques we're using. Pink did all the research while I was working today. Apparently we're using rice. So will you tell us what techniques we're doing?
So the first one we're going to do is rice. So you take some rice, you put some food coloring and a little bit of vinegar in the bag, and you slosh it around with the egg, and it should make a speckled look. To that, then we have rubber cement. That should be kind of painted on or like drizzled on, and then it'll be set to dry. Once it's dried, you can then dip it into another color, and whatever is underneath the rubber cement should allow for that color to come through, and the rubber cement can be like rubbed off. Another thing that I wanted to try was I read that if you add vinegar to the solution with the water, it should make the colors more vibrant, where if you leave the vinegar out, it's going to be more of like a pastel color. We are also doing the silk tie method. So we bought some ties, and we cut them up, and you wrap the egg in it, you throw it in the water and boil it like you normally would, and the pattern's supposed to transfer from the tie to the egg. And then the last method is shaving cream, where you take a shallow container, you put some shaving cream in it, about 1/2 inch thick, and you drizzle on some food coloring with a little bit of vinegar mixed in, and then you kind of marble it. You put the egg in it and cover it with the shaving cream, so you like scoop it over onto it, and then you let it sit. That one takes the longest. That's gonna just kind of sit in the shaving cream color mixture for like 45 minutes.
Have you done any of these before?
I have not, other than the standard like dip the egg in a color, let it sit. Maybe use like a white color crayon to doodle to like section off.
Because I don't think I've done eggs since I was like 5.
I haven't done it recently. It's been at least over 10 years.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens.
So it's been about an hour, and we finished all of our eggs. We did a decent amount of techniques. I guess we'll go through and kind of show you the different ones that we did, and then I think maybe we'll do a photo shoot at the end. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, works for me.
Okay, so the first eggs we've got are these ones. which we did the rice speckle technique, and probably can't see it that well on camera, which is why we'll do the photo shoot. But the rice technique worked really well, and it speckles pretty good. The issues I ran into was the rice liked to stick to the eggs, so then you had to kind of brush the rice off as you were taking it out of the plastic bag, which in turn was kind of messy because you got rice spilling if you're not careful. And then it also smeared really easily with your finger, so you had to be careful pulling them out to not really touch them that much, otherwise the speckling went away.
Yep.
You want to talk about those ones?
So we did. These are the silk dyed ones. So this one, I actually wrapped just a really thin piece of silk around and then just let it sit in the water as it boiled. And the spots that didn't have any silk on it actually ended up getting dyed from this one, like hot pink. But then, curious enough, the spots that weren't in touch with, like, that weren't touching fabric on this one didn't actually dye. They're still white, but it dyed that one pink. And then this one was like an orange one. And you can kind of see it has like little blue spots, but then this one's still, where it didn't touch, didn't actually dye as well.
And then I think my most favorite ones were the shaving cream ones. So we did blue and purple egg dye and swirled it in the shaving cream and then let it sit there for about 45 minutes. And this was kind of the result, kind of like a galaxy marbling type look.
Yeah, I'd say it's very galaxy. Worth mentioning, the shaving cream one, I was reading a lot of people were having issues with like the dye coming off. We did around half a tablespoon of vinegar and then put our food coloring directly in that before we added it to the top of the shaving cream and marbled it. So we don't know if that contributed to it actually working as vibrantly as it did, but it's worth noting.
And then the next ones we have is the ones that we used rubber cement with. So I made stripes on mine.
And I did like a swirly kind of drizzle.
And so we put the rubber cement on, kind of let it dry to like a tacky consistency, and then re-dipped it in a different color. And then let the egg dry fully, and then you can kind of just peel the rubber cement off. The rubber cement was still kind of tacky, but you just kind of rolled it and it came right off.
And you do have to take the rubber cement off because whatever color you do on the outside, so hers was like a blue or a green, mine was the red color, it dyes the rubber cement that color. So whatever you have underneath, and then whatever the over color ends up being. So you do have to take it off. You can't just leave it on there.
Can I do that one?
Yeah. So then this one was one that I didn't actually have like a method. It wasn't anything special. I just used like a foam brush and I did pink on one side, purple on the other, like a 50-50 split, and kind of like just dabbed it around the middle. And then the purple and pinks that we actually made, I dipped it in to the respective sides and it made this like, I wouldn't really call it an ombre. It just looked really cool.
And then these two eggs, oh, this one's still a little wet. These two eggs, I didn't do anything other than dip them, and I don't know if you can see on the camera, but they have these natural striping effects on them. And I guess I don't know enough about eggs to know if this is having to do something with the chicken when the eggs were made or what, but I didn't do anything other than just literally plain Jane dipping them into the dye.
Yeah, this one since it's wet on the butt. I don't want it to like drip and ruin your beautiful egg. This one is literally just fingerprints. We had one leg left. We had one egg left, and we didn't know what to do, so I just started dipping my fingers in it and touched it, and it made this like cool kind of like tie-dye pattern.
Very light colored. And then we have this egg that we only dipped as well, and it got like a spotted effect on the top, so we left it just like we did with the striping of the eggs, which if you watch this video a little bit further, you'll see close-up pictures of these eggs to kind of see what we're talking about.
This one, I think, was my random egg that I just started dipping in reds and pinks and oranges. Oh, look, it's cracked. I'll eat you later. This one...
That was your leftover brush from this one.
Yeah, so this one, I just... When I did that one, I had the half pink, half purple. This one, I just kind of, like, started swirling it around. It made, like, a weird polka dot effect, too, that you can kind of see.
Oh, neat. Okay.
This one is still wet as well.
Yeah, just put it on my hand.
That's fine. I just dipped purple on top, blue on the bottom. So, well, I dipped all of it in purple and then soaked it in blue up to here. And then ended up actually dipping the whole thing in blue just to give that one more of an actual ombre effect. This one I think was just a dip.
Yeah, it was just a dip in the teal that we made.
And then this one was my monstrosity. I dipped it in the teal or green rice to give it the like polka dot effect. And then dipped it into green, like the actual green we made, like the teal that we made. And then it kind of washed away all my polka dots. So then I threw it back in the rice sopping wet. And it gave it like a nice polka dot effect up close. You can kind of see like the blues through it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But you can't, like from a distance, it kind of egg carton colored.
And now I have dye all over my hands.
Yep. But I would say if I had to rank them, I don't really like the silk tie effect. Like it's cool. We might have like it's interesting to look at. There is a lot of fine detail in it. But I would have to say my favorite would be these ones. I really like the shaving cream ones. I did read that if you don't want to do shaving cream, Cool Whip. If you do it with Cool Whip, then they are edible. But with the shaving cream, you're kind of making them inedible. I'm still probably going to eat them because I'm a rebel, but we'll see.
I think my favorite is the shaving cream, and then my second is this one that you did with the paintbrush, just because it looks so darn cool. But I also really like the eggs that got the natural stripes too, so.
I do really like those ones. I do, we had both agreed when we were doing it that we really liked the rubber cement ones as well. The issue is I wouldn't consider this one kid-friendly at all. It made a huge mess. It stuck our like 3D printed stands to the table. It took quite a while for the rubber cement to actually dry, and then dipping it back in the dye, you have to wait for it to dry again. So this one took a pretty long time. This one was still the longest. The marble egg did take the longest by far. We had let that sit 45 minutes, almost an hour.
Well, we dyed all the other eggs in the time that
those
sat in the shaving cream because we did that first. But yeah, definitely recommend giving all of these a try. They're pretty fun. Kind of a trip down memory lane since I haven't done it since I was a kid. Mm-hmm. Ta-da!